Welcome everyone to the captive audience. Get rolling here today. Hope you guys are enjoying a beautiful day outside. I plan to get outside and enjoy some of it myself. I'm going to keep the show, I think, a bit shorter tonight. There are folks that are going to be participating who are precinct committee persons in a conference call. I want to make it easy for them to do that while we still get some of the news and information that's out there. So I'm going to run through this, and hopefully you find it interesting. And my nickname today is Deplorably Denouncing Fake News Dems. And they are the promoters of fake news. They are desperate. So I probably should say Deplorably Denouncing Desperate Dems. And but let's start here with the first, what comes here first, which is we've been hearing about this food stamp bill, right? And they want to expand it. Well, did you know that Oregon is actually the number 3 food stamp state in the nation? According to the Northwest Life channel, using census numbers, Oregon now ranks number 3 as the biggest food stamp state per capita in America. This is worse from the previous publicized ranking by U.S. News and World Report, which had Oregon at 5. You know, we always actually top the list of being the worst. And this week, there's a hearing on House Bill 611, which expands the Oregon food stamps to non-citizens. And I will gladly post here. Let me see if it'll let me. Hopefully it'll let me. Well, I'm not seeing where it's letting me post, and I hope I'm actually streaming. So let me double check right now to see that I am, because it's not clear exactly what's going on here. Hopefully I am streaming and I won't have to relaunch. So I'm going to go to YouTube and I'm going to check and see if you guys can see me, because I can't see you. Because it's not clear exactly what's going on here. Well, I do appear to be streaming on YouTube. And I won't have to relaunch. So we'll check out on, of course, Facebook's going to make it difficult. So I'll go to x.com. At least we know we are live. Facebook constantly kicks me out, makes me log back in as if I'm a threat to myself or something, which is complete garbage. But see if I can go and find this really quickly, because I like sussing out whether or not there are technical difficulties. And complete garbage. But yeah, so I am on. So I'm just going to assume that you guys are on Facebook right now. It's going to make me do all kinds of crap to log in, so I may not be able to check that. But I hope you guys are watching. And for some reason, it's not giving me a way to post any stories today. I have no idea why. It likes to do that. That's how technical problems seem to crop up all the time, and I wish I could fix them. But I'm not going to waste more time on the technical problems. I'm just going to rifle through this, and hopefully I can post these links later for you. Meanwhile, you know, there's, oh, that's interesting. It's got multiple, anyway, never mind. Let me see if I can actually get in. I want to make sure that we are, in fact, on Facebook right now. Let's see here. There wasn't one sent to my phone. And of course, let's go here again. Well, it's thinking about it. Meanwhile, I'll continue. Yes, trust this device. Aha. Let's go to captive audience and I will see if I'm there. Yeah, looks like I'm there. And I'm sorry that I'm unable to post things there right now, but I'm going to see if I can't post them directly to the Facebook feed. Yeah, tech gremlins. Sorry. But you know what? I think I've got a good thing to post here. So uh, this nearly 1 in 5 Oregonians right now are dependent on government groceries. They would like to increase that and include people who are actually not Oregonians, or they have stretched the definition. They're redefining what an Oregonian is, which is anybody who runs across the southern border and makes their way to Oregon. And until the hearing was today, so you can actually go and continue to provide testimony. Let me just go here. I'll find it. So measure history, public hearing held today, submit testimony, and I am posting the form you can go directly to that will allow you to go and submit testimony on this specific bill. Please do it. It's a terrible idea. And it's basically, we're going to be the only state in the nation, I think, who's actually doing this. And we're a state that says we don't have enough money to do the things we're supposed to do. So let's get with it. Let's make a difference on this one and make ourselves heard. And then you know what? If the Democrats do it anyway, and by the way, Republicans need to know that we've got their backs. There's at least one Republican who says he supports it. Representative Mark Owens is a co-sponsor, at least as I last checked. I'm checking. I can't tell if he still is, but oh yeah, I do see him here. So let him know. This is an effort to go and take public money and give it to people who ran across the border. It's going to be a magnet for everyone to come here, and it's going to be a magnet for people to stay here, and anyone who thinks that they want to find a sanctuary state to go hide in, including the hardened criminals who are frightened of being deported right now. And those, of course, are the people who are being sought after first by the Trump administration. Next story I've got here, Governor Tina Kotek is telling utility regulators to do two things: lower utility bills and reduce greenhouse gases. And the Democrats have no idea that is in direct contradiction. You can't just lower utility bills when the cost of producing and supplying an adequate quantity reliably of electricity and natural gas is constrained by the very state that is demanding that they lower the bills. It's trying to squeeze blood out of a turnip. And so she's saying she wants the regulators to carry out a bill discount program, shielding consumers from the cost of powering data centers and making sure utilities, including Portland General Electric, Northwest Natural, transition to clean energy at reasonable costs. That's the first time they've used the word reasonable, but they actually don't have any actions that follow through on this. And so there's some pieces of legislation that lawmakers are supposedly advancing to make electricity and natural gas bills more affordable and transparent. But they're actually trying to make it harder to get natural gas, especially in some cities and towns and counties. And meanwhile, the cost of electricity is going up because the cheap, reliable electricity generation sources are all being canceled by the Democrats and replaced by stuff that's astronomically expensive and until now has been subsidized by the Brandon administration's Green New Deal wolf in Inflation Reduction Act clothing, if you know what I mean. So we need to take action on this going forward so that people understand that it's actually the government, the state of Oregon, and the previous administration that are causing these increases. They are making it more difficult. They're making it the ability to supply our state more difficult. And they're knocking down dams, hydroelectric dams, which provide cheap, renewable electricity, but they refuse to categorize hydroelectric dams as renewable. That's right. Water and gravity to Democrats is not renewable. Exactly. And so I just want to share that with you because as you do get higher utility bills, you need to know who to hold accountable for this. It's not the regulators. And it's frankly, even though they say transparency is going to help, it's not the companies. Now, those companies at times have had to spend resources on stopping Democrats from banning their products. In the case of natural gas, such as in Eugene. And if they mean by transparency, showing that that company actually did spend that money, well, they openly tell people that they were doing that because they don't want their product banned and they know they have customers who demand it. By the way, they did prevail in pushing back on that eventually after a year-long battle against the Eugene City Council, who's full of just complete morons, apparently, that thought this was a good idea to ban natural gas in new construction, which was just a step away from doing it in everything. But they're demanding that they must reduce emissions. They say by natural gas and other fossil fuel providers and industrial manufacturers must reduce their emissions by 50% by 2035 and 90% by 2050. You know who's not doing this? China is not doing this. They sign agreements saying they're going to do it, and then they don't do any of it. And then, of course, there's India. And so, and I'm not blaming them. It's like no one's holding them accountable. But meanwhile, we're making our own energy more expensive. Now, Northwest Natural Gas says it has plans to reach its climate targets through a carbon offset program and investments in renewable gas. A carbon offset program that today is voluntary. Guess what happens? It won't be tomorrow. And then they say they're going to move to renewable natural gas, then green hydrogen, and then try to get people to become more energy efficient in the process. Green hydrogen is using renewable sources to separate hydrogen out from either water or from natural gas, and removing the carbon component. That's how you end up with hydrogen, and then pushing that through the pipes. But they're way off from that. That is decades into the future. And so Tina Kotek is really the one that's making it more expensive. But she says reasonable. So we're going to have to battle over the word reasonable. She also says that there's a strain on low-income Black and Hispanic households. Yeah, caused by her. And they think that they can actually make stuff more affordable by simply having lawmakers and regulators order it to be more affordable while they make it less affordable with all the other actions. So some good news today. The U.S. Supreme Court declined to revive the landmark climate suit brought by young Oregonians. This is a lawsuit which was just a virtue signaling stalking horse that was brought by a bunch of kids who've been completely propagandized by left-wing climate propaganda, who claim that their futures are imperiled, and so they filed these lawsuits. The nation's high court declined to hear a petition that would have revived this lawsuit against the federal government, and the court's denial ends 21 youth's decade-long fight in which they could have held the U.S. government accountable, supposedly, for accelerating global climate change through lawmakers' policies and fossil fuel subsidies. Despite the setback, it has spurred dozens more cases like it in individual states and around the world. And so it's really just a load of bunk. This is just lawfare against the very energy system that they say they want to make more affordable. Tina Kotek says she wants to make more affordable. Do you think it's going to become more affordable if they have courts lob multi-billion-dollar lawsuits at energy companies for legally engaging in the business that we actually demand they engage in to supply us with these products? You think that's going to make any of that less expensive or more available? So the U.S. Supreme Court said sayonara to the case, and that's good. Next up, Representative Elmer, Lucetta Elmer from McMinnville. She's a Republican, and she has a bill that is intended to increase housing for Oregon's workforce, because they have a problem in many small towns, especially if you out towards the coast, particularly, but many other areas that the housing units, they're not allowed to build them. The chief obstacle has been the government, and this is an effort to go and get about 3,000 plus housing units to be enabled to be built in Florence, Baker City, Burns, Ontario, Hines, Dallas, Carlton, Wilsonville, Adair Village, and Grants Pass. Each of these 3,000 housing units is priced at $8,400 in public investment per door. To qualify for this public-private partnership funding, cities have to show that they have shovel-ready infrastructure and housing ready for development within the city's current urban growth boundary, and that it could be completed within 60 months of receiving the direct allocation of the state. By the way, additionally, local developers in each area had to confirm the affordability would pencil for them. 30% of the completed housing units must be available for sale or rent at 130% or less of the median income in the county. So now we're going to see what this leads to. But, public-private partnerships in this case probably make a lot more sense, provided that the government, the public side, is also not combating the effort actively at each level to prevent it from happening. And by the way, I know of a housing development where the wildfire maps and the requirements for new housing are actually making it cost prohibitive to build nearly 1,000 new homes in Brookings. And it's crazy because the reason why that's happening is the government. By the way, if you thought that at this point everyone's on board, I don't know if they're houses or apartments. I don't know if it's consistent between all of them, but we'll see. I don't know. But back to the theme here. Just when you thought everybody's finally on board that fentanyl is bad and we have to stop it, Senators Merkley and Wyden actually voted no on something called the Halt Fentanyl Act. This is a bill that is designed to permanently classify illicit fentanyl-related substances as Schedule I drugs and ensure law enforcement has the tools they need to stop its flow into our country. There were only 16 Democrats in all of Congress and all of the Senate that voted against it. So I think there's 47 Democrats and 53 Republicans. 47 Democrats, and the 16 most far left nutcases have voted against it. And 2 of those 16 are Ron Wyden and Jeff Merkley. So I'm done listening to them give lectures about what they think needs to be done to stop fentanyl from coming in and devastating Oregon. They are for it, is what they are. They're for what's been happening. Now, Senator Wyden has warned about the threat of fentanyl coming up the I-5 corridor. And in August of 2024, KGW actually reported that Wyden would work on legislation to stop fentanyl and give more resources to the Border Patrol to stop it from coming into the streets of downtown Portland. Wyden introduced something he called the Fighting Illicit Goods, Helping Trustworthy Importers, and Netting Gains for America Act, acronym FIGHTING, which was read to the Senate Committee on Finance and didn't get voted on. Surprisingly, Wyden wouldn't support the Halt Fentanyl Act, as it would provide, even though it would provide more resources to stop fentanyl from arriving in Oregon. So, we've got two really radical U.S. senators, and they do keep getting reelected, but somebody's got to pound them politically into the ground for this. Someone really has to hammer these guys to the point that they feel the sting. They're hurting Oregon, and they're standing in the way of it, and they're standing with the most radical people in the U.S. Senate and against the people of Oregon, who demanded in the last election that something be done about this. Maybe they think people will let them do whatever they want. Meanwhile, President Trump is suggesting that the terrorist thugs that are destroying Teslas should perhaps go to prison in El Salvador, which is a super awesome place to go to prison. That's where they sent the Tren de Alagua folks that he designated as foreign enemies and had them deported. That judge tried to stop. Boasberg tried to order the plane in the air to come back. But I think I don't know if it's legal, but I think we agree that President Trump's sentiment, he said, "I look forward to watching sick terrorist thugs get 20-year jail sentences for what they are doing to Elon Musk and Tesla, and of course all the owners and dealership personnel." And they're doing it because Elon Musk is doing what the American people wanted President Trump to have done. Pam Bondi says she's on it. We talked about that last night. So we know we have somebody who's going to stay on this and after this. Let's see here. The Trump administration says that the deported or to be deported pro-Palestinian protest leader Khalil concealed info when he applied for his green card. Mahmoud Khalil, the Columbia University graduate who helped lead the pro-Palestinian protests on that campus, while enrolled in the Ivy League school last spring, was deported because he didn't fully disclose information about several organizations to which he was connected. You do have to actually state on all kinds of forms, but especially when you're applying for a green card, any connections you have for foreign terrorist organizations. He didn't disclose that he was a member of the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian Refugees in the Near East, nor that he worked for the Syrian office of the British Embassy in Beirut. The news outlet did not report which federal agency has made this claim, but he saying he had no connection. I guess that's going to go to court, and someone's going to try to explain why he did not tell all of this. And the misrepresentations for a green card are not free speech. So I think it's good. I think we're going to find out just, all these people that have been defrauding the immigration system and getting green cards that are connected to terrorist groups are going to have to start telling the truth. Here's some great news that I want to kind of wind up on tonight. Two items. There's some great election news. Trump has issued an executive order enforcing the citizenship requirement in federal elections. And we're going to see if people actually decide to challenge that through lawfare in federal and state courts, because then we're going to find out that when the Democrats say, but it's already illegal, then okay, then don't defend your ability to keep doing it. And I think we're going to find that several other states are taking actions on this. Wyoming has become the first state to enact a citizenship proof law for all elections, including federal elections. So they don't want any of their elections to be spoiled by non-citizens. And it says that the governor has allowed proof of citizenship and proof of residency for registering to vote to become law without a signature. So I don't know why that is, but I think it's time. So Wyoming has started this. 5 states are considering requiring voter ID to stop non-citizen voting and boost election security. Only about half of the states currently require voter ID, and just 15 explicitly prohibit non-citizen voting. We covered that a few weeks ago. And so that's important to remember that movement is underway. 13 states have now banned ranked choice voting, as West Virginia and Wyoming join the bandwagon. One opponent of ranked choice voting said in this report, it should be easy to vote and hard to cheat. Ranked choice voting is not easy. And it actually does give people such confusion that some people just won't participate and don't think that they can figure out what the effect of their vote is going to be ultimately. So that's really, really good news. By the way, President Trump signed an executive order declassifying records related to the Russia collusion hoax. So we're going to learn more about that here in the coming weeks. And of course, you know that the great tempest in a teapot that's been making news today is that there was a supposed accidental or inadvertent leak of information about the military plans to go after the Houthis. And it was an accidental inclusion on a Signal chat, which is a end-to-end encrypted texting and multimedia app that is approved according to the CIA director, John Ratcliffe, was approved and was used in the past administration for people communicating with one another. However, the Trump-hating editor of The Atlantic accidentally got included in that conversation. I know they're going to get to the bottom of it, but what's happening right now is that the Democrats are trying to say this is the worst national security crisis of all time. And I'm like, I'm not listening to those guys. They think that Jeffrey Goldberg is that bad, that he being involved with this is a national security crisis. I got a national security crisis that these people had nothing to say about. The Afghanistan withdrawal. That was a national security crisis. That was a disaster. That's one of many that occurred in the last administration. So I'm not listening to any of these folks. The National Security Advisor, Mike Waltz, took responsibility for this, said, we're going to find out why it happened, make sure it can't happen again. There was no classified information leaked at all. There was no classified information disclosed. And this is something, by the way, that, let's see here. I'm trying to post the story, but it's auto-correcting part of the title of the story. So let's see if I can get this to you. Yeah, it's trying to take the word Bill and stick in Bill Hansel. I know, that's insane. But boy, Facebook is just full of crap tonight. I'm sorry, but I don't know if I can do anything about it. So I'm just going to go ahead and it's Bill. Yeah, I can't post it. Sorry, you'll have to go to Just the News and find it yourself because Facebook is messing with me. And lastly, the lying media, former Trump campaign manager, is suing the Daily Beast for defamation over inaccurate reporting on his earnings. Chris LaCivita is suing them for $22 million, or actually $19.2 million, I guess. And let's hope he wins, because a lot of these outlets have not paid the price for their lies, and it's time they did. So let me see if I can post this one. There we go. And, I do think that when they lie and they actually cause damage to somebody that can be demonstrated in court, then and it was defamatory reporting, I think it's time that these outlets face the music. Look, President Trump has won several of these suits. We know that the kid that was in D.C. And they tried to make it look like in the media, CNN, that he was getting in the face of some Indian guy that was beating on a drum, and it was a complete false depiction. And then he was had people giving him death threats and all kinds of stuff. He sued CNN and won and got a lot of money. So these outlets, which are losing money hand over fist and viewers, deserve to have them hurdle towards a bankruptcy and have that accelerated by paying for all the lies that they're facing. They didn't police their reporters, and now the consequence is that those reporters are going to cost those guys a lot of money. So, I see what it's doing. Yeah, it's trying to stick I outsmarted you, Facebook. There, I posted the other article. Tulsi Gabbard commented on this. So anyway, I want to thank everyone for joining me here tonight. Sorry, I did go a few minutes longer than I had hoped, but if you're hopping over to the PCP call, please do so as soon as possible. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode of The Captive Audience, deplorably denouncing fake news Dems. And on the 25th of March, have a great evening, everyone. And I'll see you. I think you'll see Sonny and Don tomorrow. Next episode of The Captive Audience. Have a great night.